I'm filming this on Sunday, but it's probably going to be a file folder Friday. Although it's actually, it's a storagey thing. So I have, this is just the box. I've got lots of bits that don't fit in my box as well. But these are my Tim Holtz kind of dies and Sizzix dies and a couple of other brands. Well, I think they're all Sizzix pretty much. Might be a couple of other Bo Bunny there. But it's fabulous when they come in these little pockets. But when they don't come in these little pockets, they're a bit of a pain. So I'm going to use some file folders to do some organising, hopefully. So I thought I would kind of bring you along really and maybe use up some more file folders. But it might not be a file folder Friday. It might be a file folder Friday, or as Wilma says, a file folder someday. File folder any day. I'm just trying to organise a little bit of space here actually. Let's get a bit of room going. First one I'm going to do is I'm going to make something for these. Okay. I've had these a little while, but I don't think I've ever taken them out of the packet. Probably because I knew it would be really difficult to store them. Because I'm like that. If I think things are going to be a problem, I just won't use them. So I'm going to cut across the top here, first of all, very carefully, like so. I've got a few, like I said, I've got a few ideas of what I would like to do. Yeah, I don't think these have ever even come off here. So, yeah, they definitely have not come off here. They will do shortly. But what I'm going to do is I've got a bit of file folder here. This fits on here like so. Okay. So I'm going to grab my trimmer. I'm going to put a little line here. How tight? I'm going to cut about there, sticking to that. Cut this. This only just fits in here, and I'm pretty sure it will just get through. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to take these out, or take these off as best I can, because there's that little piece of tape holding them all in position there. Okay, now I am going to try my very best to get this tape off, because obviously when we're storing things, we really want to make sure we can see what's in the pockets or pouches or whatever it is we're making. There we go. So the tape is off this, that's great. I'm going to glue this to the front. Do I need that? I'm going to just take a quick picture of this. Right, so I've taken a photo of that and I'm going to print that out to pop into my envelope at a later date. So at least I'll have that. It tells you all the sizes of the cards on there. I'm going to add some glue. Make sure I've got my opening at the top. Add this here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to sew around here. You don't have to sew at all. You could just glue this, but I'm going to sew around here. So that's now sewn, and I've got a nice little pocket here, and all of these obviously don't take up that much space. So what I'm going to do is I have, these are going to be featured quite a lot, I think, a Polly pocket, just one of these polythene pockets, but I want it to fit into my pocket but I want a tab of some sort along the top here, which I can add afterwards. So for now, what I'm going to do is just line this up, and I'm lining it up inside my stitching so I know it's going to go in. I'm going to grab my ruler. I'm going to put this, I have no idea if this is going to work, not at all. I'm going to hold my ruler in place and take a permanent marker. Poppy keeps stealing my Sharpies. I'm going to put a line down there, and I'm just going to come slightly over where I need to go. And like I said, I've lined this up along the bottom of my stitching, and I'm going to put a line at the very top of my pocket, like that. Okay, so you can see my lines. I am going to sew up here, and that's my line to cut. So I don't want to sew any higher than that line. Okay, that's done. So I'm going to cut along that line there, and I'm going to cut down this first line that I made, making sure I don't cut my stitching, obviously. Okay, so that's going to go in there, but I want a way to pull this out. So I have a tin. I have a tin somewhere. Okay, can't find my tin. Got a tin full of punches somewhere. I'm just gonna anything will do for this. Cut out a tab of that. I have no software again, so I really hope this is working. I'm going to put that in the back there. Let's put it this way round. I'm going to keep this simple. I'm going to staple it into place. I'm going to grab my pliers and just squeeze that flat. Okay, moment of truth. Pop in the dies. I mean, these are obviously reasonable quality Polly Pockets. They're not too flimsy. Pop that in there. Oh, let's cut off this. Cut off the thread. And now but that is now a much better method of storing that die, and I can see clearly what's on it. That's the most important thing. Okay, so let's attempt another one. So I've got another file folder, one of many. Let me see, where's all my stuff gone? I have this poinsettia die, and I think it would actually fit into one of these Sizzix folders. Okay, but what I'm going to do is put this down. Trying to work out the best way to do this. I'm going to draw around here. Now I'm going to close that, line it up with my terrible tracing, and just do that. Okay, let's see how this is going to work out. I'm going to grab my cutter, and I'm going to cut through both of these pieces together. like that. Like that. Now I'm holding these two pieces together and I'm going to cut along. No, I'm not. I most certainly am not. Okay, I'm going to cut around this flap. If you do not have, I'll give you the measurements in a moment. In case you don't already have any of these pockets. Okay, so I'm gonna fold. I don't think it really matters which way round it goes. Let's get my scoreboard out, try and do a decent job of this. So I'm just going to line that up with one of my grooves and just score that, and that can then fold in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this other piece in there like so, and I'm going to cut along that edge. Right, so we now have our little flappy thing. This is going to be the front. So what I'm going to do is I think we could just put a little, yeah, I'm going to put the line in, I think. Let's see, I'm going to line that up. Bring this down. Got my pencil, and I'm just going to put a little dot there and there, either side of my flap. My cutting board. Line that up at the bottom there. I'm going to just, I can use lines on my cutting board to make sure my line is going to be straight. And I'm going to cut between those two dots. Okay. That's not perfect, but that's okay. Take my crocodile and I'm going to put 2 holes at the edge of where I've cut. Like that. So that will go here, and that, oh, that's upside down. Got to make sure you get that the right way round. That will slot in there. Okay, it's not going to be perfect. It really isn't. Probably should have put that a little bit higher, but that's okay. That's okay. It's still going to do a job, isn't it? Once that's sewn down and that's had a good old burnish, I think that will be okie dokie. Right. Yeah, what I was saying is, if I give you the measurements of this, it is almost 5.5 inches or 13.5 centimetres by 6.25 inches or just about 16 centimetres. And then what you could do is you could use an envelope flap as your template for the top. Okay, now I'm going to take my die . There's a tear line across here. cut the bottom off here, like that, and I'm going to cut this Sizzix Thinlits bit off the top, and I'm going to glue this down. It's already got a bit of sticky tape on it. I didn't put the lid on my glue. Very lucky that's coming out. I'll put this down. Now, actually, just so I've got, if anybody ever asks what dye I've used, actually what I might do is be a bit clever here, since that didn't really work. Cut that a bit straighter. Yeah, I'm going to glue the edges of that. This is all lined up, and I'm going to put that like that. Take that out. So let's just put a tiny bit of glue around here just to hold it in place. And I'm going to sew around here. Okay, I've sewn all the way around. I did an extra strip of sewing there. What I could have done is sewn all the way around this before I attached the back, but I didn't, so that's fine. This opens quite well, so I am just going to slot in my dye. Perfect. And then it will be fairly easy as well to slide that out. Okay, so that's that one. Love it, absolutely love it. And now it can go in here with the others, and it's much neater. So I'm going to apply the same principle to this one, and I'm going to do my embossing folders and various other pieces that I have. The other one I wanted to show you was what you could do. Where have they gone? If you don't have the cover. Ooh. Or, I've got them somewhere, I have. Here we go. Here we go. This one, for example, let me just take that out. This one doesn't have a pretty picture of what the dye is. So what I'm going to do is, there's a couple of things that I was thinking. Let me turn this over. What's on the other side? Is I'm going to make another one of these. I'm going to make another one like this. But I'm going to cut a couple of dies to stick on the front to show as an example of what's in the pocket, if that makes sense. So I'll do that and I'll be right back to show you. Okay, so what I've done on this one is I've just cut out a few of the circles, and I've just put a strip all the way across the back here for my flap, and I've also put a tiny little notch in there. Now I know there are more size circles than just the 3 on the front, but I'm going to know that the circle dies are in here, so that's okay. Now what I also did was I used the biggest one, so I knew I wasn't going to sew too tight to fit them in. So that is now another one done. Oh, I'm liking this. So we've done 3. We have done 3. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work on a few more. I want to do some of my little these. And I'll come up with something, and then I'll come back yet again and show you what I'm going to do with these. It's done. It's done. I've still got several to kind of make, but these are ones I have made for these 3D folders. I've still got 2 to do of these, but I thought I would just explain to you what I've done. they slot in and out of here really easily, and I've made them purposefully bigger. So I didn't want to do, I could do boxes, but I just wanted it to be easy peasy really. So these are 7 inches by 12 inches or 2 6-inch panels. So it's 7 by 6, and obviously we've got 2 of those, but I used a 12-inch piece that I just folded in half. I sewed around the picture first, and then I sewed around the envelope, the pocket or little wallet, and as you can see, they slot in there much more nicely now, and I've still got room for lots more. So I'm going to go ahead and do more of these. I'm going to use exactly the same principle on these little ones. I mean, I've currently got them in envelopes and just in the packet, and they're a bit of a pain, to be honest, to store. But I think this is a really cool storage solution and another good way of using up our file folders. Oh, got another one there, stray, one missing. So I'm just going to pop these back in here for now. They're all going to fit in here quite well. I will obviously need another box at some point, because I do have other bits and pieces that are not yet done. But that's my little storage solution if you don't have all of these plastic pockets for your Tim Holtz and Sizzix dies and embossing folders. I hope that was helpful. I will see you all again soon. Bye.